So today we'll discuss IB. So as you know, your app server has some processes related to integration broker, and your gateway is on your web server, right? So we will see how it is configured in PIA. So the first navigation is inside configuration folder. Click on configuration.
Mohan,
Yeah.
before we go integration broker, you can stop the recording. I have to ask you something about the.
This conference will now be recorded.
Go to integration broker and then configuration and click on integration gateways. Click on search. Okay. Now what is gateway? Gateway is the entry point for your
Mhm.
integrations. And any web server can be elected as a gateway, right? So here you have to mention the URL, your gateway URL. So if you click on ping gateway, could you click on ping gateway button? It is not going to load. Why? Can you tell me the reason?
Because web server is down at this moment.
No, no. Look at the URL and tell me what the issue is.
Connector, listening connector, PeopleSoft listening connector.
Look at the beginning.
Integration,
No, no.
PeopleSoft localhost local domain. Oh, because
Yeah,
of this. No, not this.
no. So is localhost.local domain known by your Windows laptop? Does
No,
your Windows laptop
no,
know what localhost.local domain is? It doesn't know.
no, no.
Obviously, this
So
will
IP
link
address I
to
have to
one.
use.
Yeah, exactly. Can you replace that domain name with IP address here
Oops.
itself? Yeah. Control Z
Control Z.
and remove that localhost.local domain and type your IP address. Press enter. Yeah. Now
PeopleSoft
it is loading
integration.
fine. So what does it say? That your gateway is active. So this is the correct URL. Now just copy the URL, full URL, and go to your gateways page
Paste
and
it
correct
here.
that. Paste it here. Remove the full URL and paste it.
Oh, wow.
Now save it. Scroll down. There should be a save button.
Yeah. The gateway
Now
has
what
existing.
it is saying, gateway URL has changed. So these connector information will also be reloaded. So click OK. It will try to reload the connectors. Click on OK. Now it
Loading
says
process is
number
successful.
of connectors loaded 12. So there are 12 connectors that are loaded on this page. Click OK.
Mhm.
Now what are connectors? So whenever any integration request comes through your gateway. So do
Mhm.
you remember the architecture? In the architecture we had discussed some war files, portal.war,
Yeah, yeah,
psigw.war.
yeah.
So
Yep.
psigw.war is the gateway. IGW stands for integration
IG,
gateway.
integration gateway. Okay.
So that war file is going to handle your integration requests. And web server's job is just to act as an entry point, right? So say if that integration is related to PeopleSoft, then
Mm-hmm.
there should be some backend, there should be some code related to PeopleSoft that runs. And that code is known as connector, right?
Connector.
So depending on the type of integration, different connectors would be invoked. If it is a PeopleSoft request, scroll
Mm-hmm.
down. Yeah. If it is a PeopleSoft request, third connector, which is PSFT target, that is going to be invoked. If it is an SMTP integration, then the first connector will be invoked. So you have different connectors for different kinds of integrations. So if your other party is PeopleSoft system, then it would use PeopleSoft connector, PeopleSoft target connector.
Okay.
Got it? So this
So
is
in
the
real
first
life,
page. Yeah,
go ahead. This is the first.
first page that you would configure for
Oh,
IB. Yeah.
okay. When the issue is coming, like, hey, integration broker is not working, not syncing,
Yeah.
um,
So
is that the reason?
yeah,
The URL wasn't correct?
no. So that reason would be different. So gateway is just an entry point. It
Mhm.
will let new messages arrive through the gateway, right?
Okay.
But if the messages are stuck in new
Mhm.
status, that's a different issue. That's related to application server, right? If they are
Yeah,
not
that
getting processed, if
we
they're
are
not
getting
getting,
that issue like in the stuck and the new
uh,
status is new. Yeah.
yeah.
But
So
I don't know
if
how
the
they fix
status
it.
is new,
Mhm.
then that's an application server issue. Your application server for some reason is not processing those messages, or
Oh,
some message is stuck in error. We'll see
mhm.
different reasons. But
Okay.
the gateway is just an entry point. If gateway is down, your integrations cannot even connect to the
Connect.
system,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So it is the entry point. Once the
Mhm.
message enters through gateway, then
Mhm.
it is job of your application server to
Application
process
server.
it.
Mhm.
So once the message enters through gateway, it will land in new status.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it,
meaning the if gateway is off, you cannot even do anything.
right, correct.
Mhm. Mhm.
So this is the first page, and click on gateway setup properties. There's a link. Yeah, click on that. So if you remember during the setup,
Mhm.
configured, we had given password for administrator user,
Mhm.
IG user, last second, right? So
Yeah.
IG user is used to log in this on this page. So
Okay.
to see your IB settings, to see
Mhm.
your IB properties file, you'll
Mhm.
have to provide administrator and its password.
Those are the password and everything we set up when we install, right?
Right.
So
Click on
in
OK.
real life, sometimes you will see the environment is set up. You can just, do your work. You don't
Yeah.
have to
So
worry about those things. They will give us
right. So
the,
you should know the passwords.
okay.
Generally, the passwords are stored in something called password vaults.
Oh, okay.
So, they will, like, organizations, they use different
Mhm.
vaults, say Secret Server or CyberArk. There are different products for storing passwords. So you'll just retrieve the password from there and use them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Now on
remember
this,
our Joel port was this listening.
yeah. So what this means, once the message enters through gateway,
Mm-hmm.
where should it go? This is the setting for the target. So if, like, when the message enters through gateway, which app server should it hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here, if it is for HR, say you have multiple systems, and if it is for HR, it will go to PSFT HR's app server
Yes.
URL.
Oh,
If it is finance, you'll have to configure one more node here, uh, and the node name is PSFT underscore EP for finance. So if you have
finance.
multiple peoples of systems, you'll have multiple entries here, 2 or 3 entries. So it tells you that if it is a message for HR system, send it to
Mm-hmm.
this app server. If it is for finance system, send it to the other app server. So you'll
So
have to give.
who's gonna define the server or node, or it's automatically will come?
You'll
Hmm?
have to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So say for HR, you will have the details of application server. The same detail you have to fill on this page, right? So you'll have to fill the app server URL in this pattern // and then domain name or IP address, and then 9033, like your Joel port, and then user ID PS, its password, and the tools release on which your application is running, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
it does not, so if you see there is a section called PeopleSoft Nodes below, right? So if it is if it does not match any of the node names, then it will go to the
This is the
default
node
app
name,
server.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So say you have defined HR system, finance system,
Mm-hmm.
and say the message is for some other system other than HR and finance, then it will go to the default app server, which is defined above.
Oh, okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
This is the default app server, and
This one.
below, yeah, below is the node specific app server.
Okay.
Right.
The
Click
same
on ping node. Yeah. Click on ping node button.
node.
So this status should always be success. If it is not success, there is some issue with your IP settings,
Okay.
right? And this is also your local node because the application that you are using is HR, right?
HM.
So
Mm-hmm.
HR becomes your local node, and every system for PeopleSoft is a node. So PeopleSoft HR is one node, PeopleSoft Finance is another node, PeopleSoft Campus Solutions say is another node, PeopleSoft CRM is another node. So every system is one node. You got
Okay.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is also your local node because you're logged in into HR system. So PSFT HR becomes your local node. It should always go to success. Like the status should always report success.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your app server is down. Click on return. If it is not success, then you'll have to check if this app server is up or not, right? Or the password that you mentioned, or the tools release that you mentioned is correct or not, right?
Oh, okay. Whatever information here has to be in the system.
Correct.
If not, then it will fail. Okay.
Click on cancel. Yeah. Now the next page. So this is just the listening connector. So once it list like this will listen. Your gateway is listening on this URL psigw / PeopleSoft listening connector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now for integrations, there are two kinds of integrations basically. So one is SOAP based, like XML messages getting transferred from one system to another, and second is REST messages, REST APIs. So you'll
One
have to
is SOAP,
define
SOAP, right?
SOAP. Yeah, correct.
Other one
Have
is
you worked on SOAP web services?
um,
Maybe.
I'm familiar with the name, but I didn't work like this.
Okay. Okay. And second one is REST, REST.
REST.
Yeah. So
So you
SOAP
saying the
based.
integration broker is two types. One is
No. The web services, the services that your PeopleSoft can provide are of
okay.
two types. They can be either
Okay.
REST services or they can be
Yes.
SOAP based.
Okay.
So for both of these services, the URL is different. And you set
Oh,
up that URL from click on the nav bar. We'll go to the second configuration page now. Click on menu and click on service configuration. So your web services are going to use the URLs that are defined here in service configuration. Click on setup target locations link. There's a link on the page. No, towards the bottom of the page, there's a link in blue color, setup target location. Click on that. These are the URLs which will be used for your normal SOAP based web services and REST web services. So the first section is for SOAP based web services, and the second section is for REST web services. So here also we'll have to correct the URL, and they have given the example, how this URL should look like. So it could look like HTTP, which is the protocol, and then machine means your IP or domain name, and then colon port, then slash PSIGW, PeopleSoft Service Listening Connector. So this is how you should define your URL, target URL. Or alternatively, you can also add your default local node slash PSFTHR at the end. So if you see the alternate example, it has default local node at the towards the end, right? So you can append your local node name, which is PSFT underscore HR in our case, at the end of the URL. So if you see the current value of target location, it has the node name. Click on that field, first field,
Here?
target location. No, the above one, target location. Yeah, go to the end. Yeah, use your arrow keys. Go to the end, very end. So
It's
it is
right.
using the second pattern, right? So it is
Yeah.
using
Right.
machine and then whatever constant string is, and then slash your default local node, which is PSFT underscore HR. So you have to specify the URL in the same pattern. And if you have HTTPS enabled, you can also provide secure target location. The only difference would be your protocol. So in secure target location, it would be HTTPS instead of HTTP, right? And you'll use your HTTPS port instead of HTTP port. Those two things will be different in secure target location, right? Rest of the pattern is same. Now here also you have localhost.local domain. Let's correct that and specify our IP address.
From the target location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
And
no,
do
you
you
don't
want to
have to
update
remove.
that?
Click on no. You don't have to remove the protocol. HTTP should be there at the beginning. It should follow the exact
Oh,
pattern.
right. HTTP. So secure
Do the
target
same.
location.
Yeah, that would be blank
Okay.
because we do not have HTTPS enabled as of now.
Rest target location also we have to
Yeah.
change.
There also you change the domain name to IP address.
Start 102. So in real life,
You'll have domain name instead of IP
the IP
address.
address. Okay.
And these locations are very important because when you provide your web services to third party, these URLs will be used for providing the web services. So this should be correct. If they are not pointing to the correct web server, then your integration will fail.
Right.
Right? So make sure the URL is correct and it matches the pattern. Click OK.
So only this one is asterisk mandatory.
Yep.
Okay.
Click on save.
We don't have to do anything here. Enable
No,
multi-queue
nothing. Okay.
services.
Now this is the second page and a very important page. Now let me show you where node definitions are. So click on navbar, click on menu, and click on integration broker in the breadcrumb. Near people tools, there is integration broker, right? Yeah, click there and click on integration setup.
Integration hub setup.
And click on node definitions. Click
Search.
on search. If you see, there are many nodes, total 61, right? Click on default local node or click on local node, the third column. Yeah. Click on that. So it will again click. Yeah. So now it is sorted with a local node. So if you see for first two nodes, it is 1, 1, which means they are your local nodes. HRMS and PSFT HR are your
Mm-hmm.
local node. But which
Okay.
is the default one? You have to look at the fourth column, default local node. Which is the default one?
Default one is
Out of these two, HRMS and PSFT HR, which is your default local node? What does the fourth column say?
ATOM.
No, no. Look at the fourth column,
Oh,
default local node.
okay.
Fourth column, not row, not row. Fourth column. Yeah. Don't click, don't click. Look at the
This one
fourth
is
column.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. For
This one
first
is the
two rows.
default. Yeah.
Yeah. So which one is your default local node? Tell me the node name. Which one is default local node?
Mm,
It's right in front of you. So are you seeing
I did.
why? Are you seeing why for the second?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's your
Human capital.
default. Yeah. So what's the node name? PSFT underscore HR.
HR.
That's your
Yep.
default.
That's
Got
what
it,
I
right?
saw before. Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Click on that. Yeah. So when you click on the node, you will get, all these details. So you will have to set the node password. This is not related to any user profile, so you can set it to any value. But remember it. You might want it to
Okay.
like you might need it for configuring in other system. So say if you have two systems, HR and finance, you will have PSFT underscore HR in finance as well, right?
Oh, in
So
this
there
here,
also you'll
both
have
of them.
in finance it is not going to be your local node. In finance, the finance node will be local node,
Okay.
right? Just like in
Uh,
HR
mhm.
one is the local node, right? In
Mhm.
finance node will be the local node, but PSFT HR will exist in HR as well as finance system,
Okay.
right? Okay. Now click on return to search. Yeah, so I'll give you example. So
You said these two is our local node. These two, HRMS
yeah,
and then the
correct. But
PSFPHL.
which
But
one is the
on
default local node? PSFT underscore HR is the default local node.
okay, this is the one we saw before on under the other page,
Yeah, right.
integration
Now
gateway.
search for only PSFT underscore. So in the search box, just put PSFT underscore. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, it
Do
has
you see
lot.
PSFT underscore HR and then CR, etc.? So
Mm-hmm.
you have, even though this is HR application, you'll have nodes for all other PeopleSoft
CRM,
application. One is for CRM, one is
campus
for
solution.
campus solutions, one is for EP. EP1 is for finance, PSFT underscore EP,
This one.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you look at the node type, the fifth column, node type column, it says PIA, PIA, PIA. So the node type
What's the
PIA are the PeopleSoft systems,
system? Yeah.
right? Yeah.
External.
For others, it says external. External means non-PeopleSoft. They're not PeopleSoft,
Okay.
right? So every system that integrates with your system is a node for you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Got it.
Now, okay, let's open PSFT underscore HR. First one. So here, the important parameter is node password and default user ID. So if your integration is not invoked by a user, it is going to use like If it is not invoked by a specific user, then it will use your default user ID to invoke the integration, which is PS in this case, right? So,
Mhm.
uh, like
When it
this
says
ID, yeah,
when it says node password, which password we should use? The one we
no,
um.
it is not related to any user ID or
Oh,
any
okay.
password that
That's
you
what
have
you said.
set
Yeah.
till now. It's a new one. You can set it to any random string,
Random string. Okay.
right? But note this password, you'll need it to configure the node in the remote system, say
Oh,
finance system, right? So you'll have to use the same password, otherwise integration will not work. So for HR node in both the systems, the password should be same. Similarly, for finance node in both the systems, the password should be same. For HR and finance nodes, the password can be different, but HR should be same. Finance should be same in both the
got it.
applications.
Got it.
Right.
Like
Now
node
click
name
on
HR should be same, and node name finance should be same.
right.
Okay.
Correct. Click on connectors. Second page. Yeah.
Great.
So here you define which connector will you use. So if you remember on the gateways page, there were 12 connectors, SMTP connector,
Mm-hmm.
PeopleSoft connector, right?
Mm-hmm.
As this is a PeopleSoft system, you'll use PSFT target. That's your connector ID. Can you click on that lookup, connector ID lookup? Yeah. So how many rows do you see? How many values total?
12.
12. And these are coming from your gateway configuration. So on gateway page, you saw there were 12 connectors, right? So all those connectors are displayed here. So as this is PeopleSoft system, you're using PSFT target. Yeah. Now click on ping node. So you can check, your node from here as well. So you
Look up.
should all be success.
Success.
Click on portal page, third page. So here you will define the content URI and your portal URI. So we discussed about two servlets, PSP and PSC, right? So PSP is your portal servlet and PSC is your content servlet. So the only difference between content URI text and portal URI text is PSP and PSC,
Okay.
right? So in the same pattern, they have given the example as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you will specify the detail of your URL in the same pattern. So let's correct that to 192 dot, like your IP address.
Mm-hmm.
Save it.
So this is the PSP and this is the PSC. Okay. Note saved.
Yeah. Similarly, in finance node, you will specify the finance URL, finance applications URL.
So for the finance, only the node name will be changed.
Yeah, PSFT underscore EP. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have finance system in your ecosystem, you will open PSFT EP and correct the portal URIs, portal URI and content,
Got
right?
it. Mm-hmm.
Now click on routings page, the last page.
What about this?
Click on that. So there is nothing here.
Encrypted,
Else
it's
what
not
kind of
highlighted.
security this has.
Mm-hmm.
Now go to the routings page. So routing is something which decides the direction of the integration. So if the integration is between HR and finance, from where to where the message would flow? Would it flow from HR to finance or would it flow from finance to HR? Right? That direction is decided by the routing. So there is sender node There is receiver
And
node.
it's both are same because we have
The-
only one node. That's why.
that service operation is internal. So it is used internally. So those messages are produced by HR system and they are consumed by HR system,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Similarly, you can find some integrations where PSFT EP is the target.
Yeah,
Look,
should be two different things, sender and receiver.
yeah, 5 6 lines below, you see there is the receiver node is PSFT EP, PSFT EP.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
So that message flows from HR and is received by finance.
Finance.
And there is one row which says any, like sender node is any, and
Mhm.
receiver node is PSFT HR. That means that the sender can be any system. Any system as in
Oh,
it
okay.
could be PeopleSoft, non-PeopleSoft, through a browser, through
Mhm.
some Java application, .NET application, it does not matter.
The
So
receiver will
any,
be HR.
yeah, and it will be received by
This
HR.
that's the real integration, other system to our system. I mean, PeopleSoft
Right.
system.
Yes. So these are the
It
routings.
can be internal too. PeopleSoft to
Yeah,
PeopleSoft.
yeah. Some integrations are internal as well.
Mm-hmm.
So say if you save some transaction on one page, that should
Mm-hmm.
reflect automatically on other pages, right? Or other tables.
Mm-hmm.
Then you an internal integration. So whenever you save a page, it will generate an integration message
Mm-hmm.
and it will update the other tables.
Yeah.
And if you see the status is inactive right now, so if you want
Right.
to use integration, you'll have to activate the routing explicitly. Without activating, you cannot use the integration. Like the message will not flow if the routing itself is inactive.
Inactive. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
what
as this
about
is,
the direction?
yeah, so direction
Local.
tells you the same thing. Like local means HR to HR, inbound means your receiver node is HR. So where
Now
receiver
this
node is
is
HR,
P1 and HR.
yeah, so it does not matter what your sender node is. If
Okay.
receiver is HR, then it becomes inbound because it is coming to HR, right? If
Okay.
it is going
It's the
from
same.
HR,
Yeah.
yeah, so it is
Outbound means two different. It's coming from
originating
the
from
other.
HR.
Okay, got
No,
it.
it is originating from HR and going to some other system.
Some other system.
That is
That's
outbound.
got it.
Yeah. So if you want to activate the routings, you can
Mm-hmm.
just click that checkbox and click on activate selected routings. There is one button at the bottom. So you can use that button to, no, not that one. You select any one of the routings.
Inactive, select active, right?
Yeah, so there are two buttons. If you want to activate, just select any of the routings. No. First select the routing, no?
Oh, over here.
Yeah,
Like this one, we can do it.
then activate.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it is active.
You want me to do more than one?
Yes, you can select, you can activate all of them at once. That's also possible.
There is a select all button too.
Yeah.
Why it's not showing the success?
Yeah, because it is
Like,
already active. So you did
okay.
not take action on the first
Mm-hmm.
row.
Understand. Yep. Save it.
No need. It's
Okay.
already activated. If you make any changes on other pages, then you'll have to save.
Good.
Click
So
on the nav
local
bar.
means, let me make sure this local means both sending and receiving node in the same environment.
Right.
And then this one is inbound, but two different Two different
Inbound
scenarios or
and outbound messages will always have two different nodes.
notes. Okay.
Inbound and outbound. Only local has same nodes. Right? Inbound means your receiver node is HR. Outbound means your sender node is HR.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Click on the nav bar.
Node definitions we learn. Okay.
Click on menu and click on integration broker on the breadcrumb near people tools. Click on service operation monitor. Click
Monitoring
on
or
first go to administration and click on domain status. So if you remember, we had enabled some IP server processes on our app server. Sub process. Do you remember?
WhatsApp.
Pub
Yeah.
handler, sub handler.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah.
So this domain status page will report all the app servers that have IP processes enabled. So
Can you repeat
currently
it?
yeah. So this page is going to tell you where your IP processes are running, like on which app
Okay.
servers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So currently there is only one app server where your IP processes are running. So it is
It is
reporting
okay.
your app
Mm-hmm.
server, right?
Yeah.
Now, if there are multiple app servers which are running IB processes, then multiple entries would be visible. Like say
Over
if
here.
three apps have, yeah, over here.
Okay.
Now out of these, you can activate only one app server.
Or even though you
You,
have more, you can only do
yeah,
use one.
yes, you should only use one because your IB processes, you do not want two application servers to process the same integration message,
That's true. Mm-hmm. Like
right?
in
So,
a testing perspective, when you test in TST1, you can just active only TST1, right?
so per application, so these app servers are all related to your HR application. So say if it is dev instance, only dev app servers will be visible here.
Visible.
Your test
Okay.
app servers, UAT, those will not be visible,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Got it.
So out of the dev app servers, if you have multiple app servers where
Mm-hmm.
IB processes are enabled, you
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure only one is active, others are inactive.
Got it. Like we have HCM DOM too, right? HCM
Yes,
dev too.
correct.
So if there is two, then we can just active only one.
Yeah,
How we
and you
select like which one we are going to use?
so, you basically you have your primary app server and then
Oh,
you have your secondary app server. So if primary fails for some reason, the second one can take over, and that taking over can be manual or it can be automated. So manually you can select active in the drop down and update it. There is an update button on the page, right? You can click on inactive and click on update. So if you see the status, now it is cleaning up. Click on refresh. Click on refresh button.
where this one?
No, 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 no. Just besides update button, there is a refresh button.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Now it is inactive. If you see below, all the processes are reporting inactive,
Yep.
right?
Let me make it
So if
active.
yeah, now if this is inactive,
Mm-hmm.
if none of your app servers is marked active here, your integrations will not work.
Okay, it will fail. Got it.
Yes, because no app server is going to process. All your messages will be stuck in new status. So this is one of the reasons. If your domain status is inactive or your domain, like the application server which processes the IB messages is down,
Mm-hmm.
then messages will be in new status. So two
Okay.
reasons. If the app
Got it.
server is down or your domain status is inactive.
Okay.
Because of these two reasons, your messages will be in new status.
Okay. If change it, it's gonna be new to
Yeah.
new
New
to
to
update
working and success
working.
or error.
So it's for the integration related issues. When you see, then we have to go to check the application domain is
Right.
active or
Make sure
not.
that the ad server is up. Plus, you have to make sure the domain status is active, right?
Mhm.
Then your messages would flow. The
Okay.
third issue we will discuss next. Um, can you click on navbar? Click on menu and click on service operation monitor. The link, service operation monitor. Click on monitoring and click on monitor asynchronous services. Yeah.
So you have to
So
wait for the synchronize. Yeah.
yeah. So this is the page where you will monitor the messages, whether they are in new status, error
Yeah.
status. This is
Yeah. I
the main
remember
page.
that page. But we behind the scene, what is going on? We don't even know. We
Yeah.
were just complaining if its status is new. It
Right.
didn't. It's error or something.
If there is any message in error status,
Mm-hmm.
then all subsequent messages will be stuck in new status. So the new messages will flow only when you clear the error message,
Okay.
right? So this is the third issue because of which your messages could be in new status. So click on that 29 done messages. Click on that number. Open one of the messages. Click on details at the end. At the end, there is details. Click on that. So when it is in error, you will get two, like these two buttons will be enabled, resubmit and cancel, which are disabled right now,
Right.
right? So when your message is in error, you can either resubmit if
Okay.
the issue is intermittent, temporary, and or maybe you have applied the fix and you want to resubmit the message, you can click on resubmit. Or if you want to just cancel the message and go ahead with other messages, you can click on cancel,
Okay.
right?
But things happen
So
like this, like when we see the
give me
status
one
is
minute.
error. Huh?
Just give me 1 minute. I'll be back.
Sure. I'll be back too. Give me one more time.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so if it is an error, the status would be reported as error instead of done. Hello.
Sorry, Mohan.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I
So
was
I'm
saying the status would be reported error if it is in error status
okay.
instead of done, right? So there
Mhm.
are two kinds of messages, asynchronous and synchronous. So what asynchronous means is it will not wait for response.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no response for your message. So
Right.
whenever a message is transferred, there is a request and then there is a response, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just send the request and you do not wait for the response. You proceed with the next message. And that's what
Which one is
happens
that? Asynchronous?
asynchronous, correct? So what
I
you
thought
do is
this asynchronous is you have to wait, and synchronous is
no,
you don't
no,
have to wait.
no. So in asynchronous, you don't have to wait for the response. In synchronous, it has to be in sync. Like you will request, receive response, only then you will trigger the next message. Again, you will send the request, wait for the response. When you get the response, you will trigger the third message, and that is synchronous. In asynchronous, what will happen? It will trigger the first message, like from the new messages. So all the messages that are in new, it will pick up the oldest message, send it, then pick up the next message, send it, pick up the third message, send it. It will not wait for response. That is asynchronous, right? In synchronous, it will wait for response.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is a separate navigation for synchronous messages. Click on the nav bar,
Mhm.
click on menu. So there is monitor synchronous services. Click on that.
So you are saying asynchronous is at the same time, right? You will
Not
get
at
the
the same
message.
time. No, no, no. It will send the request and it will not wait for response. That is what asynchronous means. It
Okay.
will send the request. The response might be received in 1 minute, 10 seconds, 1 second. It is
Mm-hmm.
not going to wait. It will proceed with the
Okay.
next message, right? But in
Asynchronous is
synchronous,
one by one. Okay.
yeah, one by one. If it takes 10 seconds, it will the next message has to wait for 10 seconds till the
Okay.
first one completes.
Got it.
That's synchronous.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
currently
fine.
we do not have any synchronous message in the system.
Right.
So it is blank. Just give me 1 minute. I'm getting a call.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is the page where you will, check the synchronous
Take the
services.
message. Okay.
So here also you'll get the same kind of
Data.
buttons, resubmit, cancel. Yeah. So you can resubmit the error message. You can cancel the error message. Same operations can be performed on a synchronous message as well.
The what is the service operation and node name we know. HR some
Yeah. Click on PSFT HR.
service operation.
Service operation is the web service name.
Okay. Can we find it here? I don't think so. Web service name you said?
Yeah. So I'll explain you that 1 second.
Okay.
Let me share my screen.
Let me.
So do you know what web service is?
What do you mean the? You mean the
Like,
definition or what? HCM
yeah,
dev
like what? No, no. What is a web service?
with the we have to use the internet for this one. Web server.
Okay. So, like, have you tested any web service?
Mm,
Okay. Let me give you one example. So, say, see, say you have your PeopleSoft system,
mhm.
PSFT underscore HR, right? And you have some .NET application which is used by your recruiters. Okay. So when they go to go for campus placement, they use some .NET application, right? Now, whenever they recruit someone, they will fill the details here, right? Now, as soon as they fill the details here, they want it to sync to your PeopleSoft system. Then you have to transfer some kind of information from .NET application to PSFT HR, right?
PeopleSoft
So,
application. Yeah.
right. So what PeopleSoft says is it
That is
gives,
the integration.
yeah, so it will give one link,
Mhm.
say, psft hcm dot, ps.com slash my PeopleSoft service listening connector slash uh, there is a web service called candidate underscore details dot v1, and PeopleSoft gives this URL and tells the developer of this application that if you pass the candidate ID, the name, date of joining, these three
Mhm.
details, if you post these three details on this URL, I am
Mhm.
going to register that candidate in my system. So .NET application is not bothered about how PeopleSoft is implemented, how it works internally. It only
Give you the data.
concerned about these three details.
Mhm.
So people is saying, just give me these three details. I'll make an entry in my database. I'll register that candidate, right? So
Mhm.
.NET application will send these details as soon as someone is hired, and it will send these details on this URL. So this URL is your web service URL, right? It is providing a service. What is that service? It is providing the um
Candidate
candidate
registration.
registration service, right? Over HTTP protocol, which is, by the way, the web.
Website.
That is
Mhm.
why it's known as web service. Now, in PeopleSoft, there is a flow through which you have to go to provide a web service. So there is something called service operation, which decides what should be the URL, like URL template. So this candidate ID, name, date of joining, this comes under template. So these are the details that are required. What is the security? Who can access this service, right? So security as in a dedicated, like your PeopleSoft security. So user, it will check if user has sufficient roles or not for invoking this service. So service operation is a group of all these settings, template, security, and then you
URL.
can routing. All these things are grouped together under a service operation, and then service operation is converted into a web service, and that web service will have a URL like this.
Mhm.
So service operation is a mandatory step to create a web service,
Web service.
right? When you are providing a web service, you have to first create a service operation and then provide a web service. When you are consuming a web service from third party, say .NET application has some URL that you are trying to consume, in that case it is inverse. So if you're consuming a web service, right, when you consume a web service, it automatically creates a service operation for you.
Okay.
You don't have to create it manually. But when you want to provide a web service, then first step is to create a service operation, fill all these details, what should be the template, what is the security,
Security
routings,
routing.
etc. And then you can convert it into a web service. When you are consuming, it's inverse. You just give the web service URL and consume it. It will create the service operation, right? So then you can go and modify the security, routings, other stuff. But the skeleton, the initial details will be auto-filled for you.
Okay.
Got it? So all your integrations are recognized by service operation.
Ocean.
So service operation means your integration, you can call it some kind of integration. So say you have service operations for account sync, right? In account sync, maybe you have subtypes, say full sync, right? Or just normal sync, right? Say, there are many service operations. You can go through the list. You can visit the routings page, or you can visit the service operation page. You can see what all service operation PeopleSoft provides out of the box.
Position
And
sync, employee ID
yeah,
sync, is something like
correct.
that.
Those kind of service operations, exactly. Now,
Yeah, because
yeah. So developer's task is to create the service operation, right? If he wants to
yeah,
modify the
when
security,
we go to the service operation drop down, we automatically see everything
right?
after
Correct.
developers work. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
So, like you should be aware of these things,
Mm-hmm.
but these are not created by you. Service operations are not created by you. You
Okay.
might modify them, you might activate or inactivate them, but all other details will be provided by your development team,
Development, yeah. Okay.
right? Providing and consuming web service is something that you would do, and it's a simple step-by-step process. It's not like you go, step 1, step 2, step 3. You give the URL, click next, 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 finish, and it will give you the web service URL.